Hello everyone. Today we will go through the process of a game which helps you check your concentration levels. This game was built using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So this is the game. When you press the start button, the timer automatically starts here and random numbers are generated. Like this. I'm going to press the start button and the random numbers are generated. So you have to touch the numbers from 1 to 50. You have to do it in the correct sequence also. So I'm going to do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There you go. I've completed half of the set. Now I have to complete the numbers 26 to 50. First I completed from 1 to 25. Now I have to complete from 26 to 50. There you go, guys. I've completed the second set, which was from 26 to 50. After I completed it, it automatically stopped the timer or the stopwatch which has been going on. So my time is 1 minute and 11 seconds, which you can use the time and check the scoreboard to determine your concentration level. I got 1 minute and 11 seconds, which is 60% concentration level, and that is the average. So that was the game. And if you want to do it again, you could reset and it starts it all over again. So that was the game. Now let's go through the code. As I said in the beginning, we made this game using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. First, we will go through HTML. So we have first the title and we have the scoreboard, which is used to determine your concentration level, and we have the two buttons, which is start and reset. And the next one is another div which has the time, which is also called the time display. Next we have the main table, which is this whole box with a border of black. And on the bottom, we have some small instructions to play the game. Touch the numbers from 1 to 50 in the correct sequence. And and now that's the HTML is there's not a lot of HTML, so that's it for the HTML. And we also have some inline CSS. It's nothing that complicated, just margin, a font size, font weight, and font family. And yeah, those are just all the inlines that we have used. And next we have the internal CSS, and we used height, width, background color, margin, font size, color, border radius, cursor, table layout, overflow, uh, and text align, and justify content. We have used all that properties, and we have styled buttons, divs, table, tr, tds, and the body, and especially this main box. So that's all with the CSS. And now the last part, the JavaScript. The first part of the JavaScript, we're going to go through how we got this table, the main box. We used a for loop, and that for loop was looped over and over again until we had 25 boxes with x's inside them. We did that by inserting a cell, which is basically these small boxes, and we made a variable for that, which is row cell. And and on the row cell, we used the inner text function of x. So it turned all of these small boxes into x's, and only if the event is load. Event is like load, which is like loading over, like reloading. when the site has been loaded, so something like that. So that's how we got the boxes. It's not that complicated, it's just a for loop. And we also used arrays. So this array, the first one is from 1 to 25, and the next one is from 25 to 50. The next function is the update number function. So that number basically, when you get like when we start and when you press on the number, it updates it, like it changes the number. That's what this function is for. And this is also when used by the random number function. So this is how the random function works in JavaScript. So math.floor inside parentheses math.random times 51 minus 26 plus 26. That might sound a bit long, but it's not that complicated. It's just a random function which is used for numbers from 26 to 50 or 51. So that's what this function is for. Just reset that. And the next function, which is start for start the timer and basically start the game also. So as you can see, there is a function that has been called here with parameters. That function is like the onload function right here. Onload get blank tab. Get blank tab, which also means generate a blank tab on the page when the page loads. So that's what it means. And that function is all the way up here. So when it like unloads a blank tab, it automatically makes the table. It's like when it automatically loads, it automatically makes a table with parameters. So we were at the time, how the time works in JavaScript, at the stopwatch actually. The start function, which is for start timer, I just made it start. And when we press on the start button, the background color of the start button is the color has been changed and it has been disabled. The color has been changed because uh, it has been disabled. That's why we have changed the color. Yeah, so that's why we have changed the color of this start button after it has been clicked. And there's an if statement here. If seconds equal 0 and minutes equal 0, run this function. Well, that's basically before you start it. And like before you, after you press the start button, everything is like 0, 0, 0, and it suddenly changes to 1 and then 2, and it keeps increasing. So when you start it and it's still 0, run this function. That's why the function has been called here. Okay, so now like for the exact time part. When this function starts, the seconds has to start incrementing. So we have seconds plus plus, which means seconds is incrementing. Or in other words, seconds equal to second plus 1. And if the seconds hits 60 or when it is 60, um, we're going to have seconds set to 0 again and have minutes start incrementing. And when the minutes is again 60, we have the minutes set to 0 and the hours start incrementing. So that's how the time works. That's how we made it. And 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 this displays on the time display div, which is this. It changes this to like the time display, the the display that we use in JavaScript. This the document.getElement by ID. Okay, and next the display, like how when does it display? So we have set a timeout for start the function for 1000 milliseconds. So whenever you see this, whenever the number changes to the next number, 1000 milliseconds has passed. So a second is 1000 milliseconds, and 10 seconds is 10,000 milliseconds. So we know this is milliseconds because it is milliseconds. If we increase this, like let's say, decrease this 500, this would have been going even faster. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's going faster. But that's not how seconds work. Second is 1000 milliseconds. So it has to be exactly 1000 milliseconds to run the seconds in the right order. So that's what set timeout is for. Let me reset this. Okay, so that is all of the code, and that's basically the end. That's the end of the video. Uh, if you want to play this game yourself, I have a link in the description below. You can check that out. And you could, if you want anything from me, if you want to tell anything to me, just use the comments. You could type anything in the comments and I'm going to check it out. So yeah, thank you guys for watching this video and see you next time. Bye.